This is a message from MCTV Digital. Dear subscribers, MCTV Digital is now offering high-speed internet service in resource area. Call today to inquire about installation rates and packages. This is a message from MCTV Digital.
Come visit The Next Generation for all your school stationery needs. The Next Generation also supplies a wide variety of designer perfumes, cologne, swimwear, gift items, toiletries, male and female footwear, office supplies, and ready-made school uniforms. Be sure to visit The Next Generation, located Facades Building next to KFC. Contact us at 630-BOOK or 630-2665. The Next Generation, where we make a difference with exceptional quality, price, and service. Please join their fan page on Facebook for store-wide updates under The Next Generation Limited.
Hi guys, and welcome back finally to the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know what it's be with live programming, there's always hiccups and issues and whatnot. So welcome one and all to another episode of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with your boy Kyron, the poor people's governor. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a program that is aired each and every Tuesday night right here on MCTV3, your community station, right? We tend to handle some of the things that are good, bad, and tonight I really have some ugly things that I want to talk about. I hear people talking about me, people in high places, ministerial places, and I need to address some of those concerns, some of those issues, because I wasn't too pleased about some of the things that I heard and some of the allegations that were being thrown about. But you know how this be. I mean, at the end of the day, I know I'm doing this for the betterment of my community and nothing else. There's no monetary value to this. There's no mama guy, no riches beyond anyone's wildest dreams. I do this because I love being a member of my community, and I'm doing this because I like to help the people of my community. Right? So we really had a packed program tonight, but because of technical difficulties, we're not going to have some of the videos that I had promised earlier in last week's episode. But what I do have is an equally informative session with two members of the Plaisance Housing Development Improvement Committee. That's Mr. Wendell Mitchell and Miss Natasha Richardson. And they're coming here to talk a little bit about some of the issues that they are currently being faced with in the Plaisance Housing Development. Some things that are going to shock you, some things that are going to leave you wondering about what is really happening in our community. Right? So The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a program where we highlight those things and we give a voice to the people in the community that sometimes don't have the privilege of having that voice themselves, right? So it's your boy Kyron here. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we start off tonight's program. When we come back, we're going to start the conversation with Wendell and Natty.
Come visit The Next Generation for all your school stationery needs. The Next Generation also supplies a wide variety of designer perfumes, cologne, swimwear, gift items, toiletries, male and female footwear, office supplies, and ready-made school uniforms. Be sure to visit The Next Generation, located Facades Building next to KFC. Contact us at 630-BOOK or 630-2665. The Next Generation, where we make a difference with exceptional quality, price, and service. Please join their fan page on Facebook for store-wide updates under The Next Generation Limited. Shop MCTV, located Pearville, Mayaro, the store with a wide range of kitchen appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, blenders, coffee makers, dinner sets, wares, utensils, easy shop as seen on TV items, patio sets, camper tents, inflatable beds, floats, new wave oven, and much more. Get all your gift items right here. Seasonal gift paper, greeting cards, designer cologne for men and perfume for women, accessories, novelty sets, handbags, flowers, all Black & Decker and Oster products, in-stylers and massagers. Other household goods includes television sets, stereos, decorative items such as candles, curtains, ornaments, wall accessories, and more. Be sure to ask about our bridal registry services and not forgetting the kids. Teddy bears, toys, trucks, bicycles, beach games, blendy pens, and color splits. For the best prices and a comfortable shopping environment, visit Shop MCTV today.
This is a message from MCTV. Customer in arrears for over 90 days will be disconnected. Customers are required to call the MCTV office to make payment arrangement. Disconnected customers may be asked to return their cable boxes. This is a message from MCTV.
This is a message from MCTV Digital. Dear subscribers, MCTV Digital is now offering high-speed internet service in Resource area. Call today to inquire about installation rates and packages. This is a message from MCTV Digital.
All right, and good night, guys. Welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with your boy, the Poor People's Governor. Before I went to the break, I told you that we were going to have a conversation tonight with a couple of residents from the Plaisance Housing Development Improvement Committee. For the people in Mira that don't know what Plaisance is, you're probably ain't supposed to be living in Mira. Does everybody know what Plaisance is? That's going on the beach, right? And the housing development is the energy houses that are to the right. If you're heading to the beach, to the right when you reach down by Tat shop there, and that whole area from there comes straight up to the recreation ground, and there are also some houses along the recreation grounds as well. We have in studio with us tonight Wendell Mitchell and Natasha Richardson, and they're going to talk to us about an issue that they're having with some broken promises made by our Member of Parliament, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, regarding some living arrangements that they previously had, and they still are undergoing right now. So I'm going to say welcome to you guys to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I want to thank you and say it's a pleasure to be here. And you know, the team, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is really apt for the experience that we have. Yeah. Yeah.
More on the ugly side.
Well, actually, it started good, though.
Yeah.
Back in 2005, it was good. The mere fact of owning your home, I mean, it's one of the dreams that any young person would have. You know, and things started to get bad, and now we reach real ugly. So
let's start off with the whole arrangement of having your houses. You guys were allocated, well, yourself and Natty were allocated 2 separate houses in the NHA housing. NHA at that point in time, yes? Right. You guys were allocated 2 houses. Give us an idea of what happened after that, because I know there was some issues with flooding and whatnot. So run us through the whole process of what happened.
Well, the process started somewhere in July of 2004 when we were selected. A whole probably about 9 to 10 families selected for housing in the area. We actually occupied the house, began to occupy the houses sometime in late 2004, late 2005. Yeah. And from day one, we had issues. Yeah. You know, you had range from poor construction, termite-infested cupboards, but a lot of remedial work was needed. The security in terms of the type of windows, because the house was flat to the ground. Yeah. And, you know, it was very easy for anybody to come in. There were no burglar proofing. If you're cooking, you couldn't cook at night. Or if you're cooking at night, you had to open the house because the whole place would be like a furnace.
Really?
Yeah, it was really. The construction was really poor. But, you know, through it all, everybody decided, you know, you're going to stick with it and, you know, make something out of it. You're going to do your development, works on it gradually as money comes in. And then, you know, there was a small flood. They came and they sprayed the area for whatever disease that waterborne.
After that first flood, were you guys affected initially by that first small flood that you mentioned?
No, it was just basically the road. A lot of slush and mud and that kind of thing in the road.
Was that a regular occurrence whenever it rained? Or whenever it rained heavily?
Whenever it rained heavily, the water would come up. Yeah. And then one fateful day in 2007, October 25th, somewhere around there to be exact, the big one came. Yeah. And when I say big, I'm not exaggerating. Because if you're going in, the way we just described the HEC there, my house was the last on the right-hand side, number 96.
Yeah, that's the same, along the same street that Natasha lives, yes?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Natasha was opposite me.
Okay, right.
And the fire services, and they had to literally bore holes into the house.
For the water to run out.
People at the time had to tow children through the flood water waist high. When I told you people lost everything, people lost every single thing that they had.
Just remind me, what part or what year was that when this first particular? Because
that was 2007. 2007. Yeah, that was 2007. What was significant about that 2007 flood? That flood was October, and we was facing a general election November the 5th or somewhere around there. So we had a lot of politicians. You had the now chairman of HEC, Rabindra Moonan, representing the COP campaigning. You had Miss Michelle Miche Boyd, representing the PNM. And you had Winston Peters, the Gypsy, representing the then UNC. So they came in with mattresses, water. Gypsy showed the most care at the time in terms of support that he brought. Yeah. Even some of the houses that were unfinished, the tall houses. Yeah. He told Natty and them, listen, you all have little children, all have nowhere to go. Go in these tall houses. We had to fight to fix this. Right. So from there, it was a struggle. Miss Michelle Boyd got a meeting with HDC first. So we got a meeting with Noel Garcia. No, Mr. Garcia didn't come to our first meeting in the Civic Center. No, some other HDC representative came. And they said there and then, listen, they sympathize, they empathize, but do not worry, we will be compensated. Yeah. As people coming in to do all the assessment and everything, and you all will be compensated.
So at this time, you guys were living in the upstairs and downstairs houses?
Well,
and not in the...
what happened, Natasha, Lava, and Suzanne and they moved into the tall houses. Right. You had people like Miss Williams, Cheryl Ann. She went back home. I went back to Peter Hill. Zig had to move out too. Yeah. But you had other people who didn't have HDC homes, who also have homes. Remember, some people were given land with the option that they build.
Yes.
They and all were affected negatively too. So they came in, they did all the assessments. Miss Claudette had to move, and she was quite at the front. Yeah.
I remember how far she lived from
and she and all had to move. She went back home and all because her house was inhabitable. Yeah. So it took us a while to get back things started, and then they sent for us to Port of Spain. Well, everybody was really excited. We said, okay, well, we're gonna, they're gonna sort out everything. And the approach then by the HDC under Mr. Noel Garcia was, can't find words to describe it. It took everybody back to the point where they told us, listen, the flood is an act of God. Right. We can't compensate it for act of God. Wow. So here what? Go in a store where you choose, get a voucher for $5,000, anything you want, and we will give you that in good faith. Okay. But that is all I could get.
After you guys lost, obviously, more than $5,000.
So with that, everybody was real disappointed because that was around Christmas time. That was December. Election had come and gone. Mr. Peters Gypsy had won. So there was no politicians again interested in us. But we went to him.
At that point in time, were you guys having continuous conversation and continuous contact with the MP, with Mr. Gypsy? Peters
yes, most definitely. Because we sat with him because he was in opposition, even though they had won. Yeah. And he said, listen, if you buy a product, and this is quoting him, if you buy a product and you're paying for a product and the product is defective, it is the person who you bought the product from responsible to replace it.
Replace it, yes.
Even though if they have to give you a more expensive product, they have to absorb that cost. And that was the logical thinking then by the MP. So he sent his personal assistant, Mr. David Law, and we sat down and we wrote a strong letter to the HDC. And, it going back and front. And then what the HDC did, they stopped meeting with us as a group. They started to divide and conquer. Yeah. So they say, okay, Kyron, you come Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock. Natasha, you come Wednesday evening, 5 o'clock. Yeah. Wendell, you come Friday morning. Because they realize now that, they're trying to separate us. And they make you sign a contract stating, listen, if you don't sign for this, you can't get no house.
And the contract stated what exactly? If you don't sign for what in particular?
Well, they're giving you one of the, what they refer to in HEC as the houses on stilts, the tall houses.
Right.
For $320,000, $330,000 and upwards.
Right. So there was an identified difference in prices for the units in that contract.
Our units that we originally had ranged between $138 to $150. Right. The difference in price was because some people had actually paid on the land long before. Okay. When I think Mr. Humphrey was the housing minister then, and they had started something. So some people had actually had the land before. Mm-hmm. So they were given their houses cost less. The thing with that now is that we went back to the NP, and he said, no, this could never be right. Look at the vast difference. Now, immediately, some of the people who had initially qualified for the first housing were finding it very difficult to meet
those payments.
Because your installment then was between $500 to $600, and it went up in some cases to $3,000.
Wow.
$2,800 to $3,000. So you could see the vast difference.
It's a vast difference.
You know, and a lot of people were finding great difficulty in actually meeting that. So, you know, in dialogue with the NP, he said, listen, we're not going to pay a cent. I'm going to take this to Parliament. And it is on Hansard. He really did take it to Parliament. The then housing minister, I think, was Ms. Dick, Dick under the PNM.
Yeah.
And she's on record as saying that Miari is receiving attention and it will be dealt with. Again, just talk. So if we fast track to what is happening now, when the People's Partnership came into power, we went and saw the member of parliament as the community again.
Yeah.
Everybody. We went in, and he took all his notes and he said, listen, I am going to bring the Minister of Housing, I'm going to bring the Ms. Jolene John, and I'm going to bring all the technical people, and once and for all, we're going to put an end to this.
Yeah. And this is the words of our MP.
Our MP.
Right? I just keep reiterating that because I don't want any miscommunication to happen where people may think that you're talking about someone else when indeed it was Mr. Peters.
Yeah, Mr. Peters.
Okay.
Because he, in all fairness, he had been there from inception, even while in opposition. So he's familiar with this. Nothing is what I'm saying here is strange to him.
Yeah.
He is intimately involved in this whole thing. So sometime in April of 2011, April of 2011, he did lead a delegation to Miaro.
Right.
The Minister of Housing wasn't there, sadly, but we had Ms. Jolene John and other technocrats from the HDC. We had local councillors, the councillor for Kokal Mafikin, Mr. Kishore. You had the councillor for Miaro Guaguari, Mr. Koze, and Gypsy personal assistant, and they were there. And residents were allowed to speak freely. People talk about all the broken promises because there are people living in some of the flat houses that were damaged, you know, where some of the houses up to the ring beam and that kind of thing were cracked. You had Miss Paul, who still lives in a flat house. You have Mao's sister, Miss Judy Poughton, and those houses were severely damaged by the flood. And they still live in there. What HDC had promised that they would fix. So there and then we were given some undertaking. The MP said, listen, these people, I told them stop paying any money because this have to be fixed. These people have been taken advantage of for too long.
Again, the MP is saying,
right. We need to reduce the cost of these houses. These people can't be paying $300 and something thousand for no house after they lost everything and their initial house wasn't more than $150,000.
Right. And also, which adds more merit to it, is that these things happen. They were not your fault. They're saying it was an act of God, but let's take, for example, if there was proper drainage. Because we all know the reason why they flood.
And you know, it's real ironic because they brought their technical engineer, Mr. Chin, who said that the construction of the house in the first place was poor.
Right.
He said the type of house that was built, he said they should not have flat houses at all. With the type of soil and the drainage, and they look at all the river and all the infrastructure and all of that. So he said these houses should have never been built here if they wasn't going to develop the infrastructure. So again, fast tracking to forward, what is happening is that after all of that, the Ms. Jolene Johnson, Mr. Minister, all that is required, we'll do a cabinet note, and the Minister of Housing will take it to the cabinet, you will get the approval. Then we said, listen, we are not looking for houses for free.
Right. You're willing to pay for your houses?
We are willing to pay for our houses. If you're saying, listen, those houses are $350, $340 as the case may be, our houses were no more than $150, let us come together and find a middle ground.
Right.
And all agreed and they say we will do our repairs to our house and that kind, but we need to find a middle ground and we need to find closure. Because what we unearthed even during all this, when we went to TTMF to secure mortgages initially, we could not get mortgage. None of the tongue and country approvals were ever sought for the housing development.
Oh, wow.
So We couldn't get any mortgage at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it. Your age and how mortgages are calculated, your age is a factor.
It is.
So, when you look at my age in 2004 to 2013, you see how much years less.
Pass, yeah.
So, with each passing year, it becomes more difficult to really get a mortgage at a preferable rate.
Yes.
So, that being said, they said that will be sorted out. The tongue and country approvals will be sorted out so people could access mortgages. We will get a common ground. They say, listen, this house wouldn't cost as much as 200,000, but should it reach 200, it wouldn't be more than that.
Right.
We said, okay, that's unfair. I mean, 150 for flat, 200 for up, taking into consideration everything you lost. We feel like it's a fair
Yeah,
ground.
you more or less you're not going to break even, but you're not going to be not going to take a heavy loss.
You're right. So we will work with that. And that was April. As you know, I work Port of Spain, so I visit every Friday. I would visit the HDC. And I started to meet with Miss Jolene John, personal assistant, who keeps saying, yes, work is being done on it. You all will get a feedback soon. And then whenever I go now, it's like, she's in a meeting, this one is not here, that one is not there.
Yeah.
So I realized we getting the answer wrong. So we met again as a community, and we penned the letter that you have there,
Right.
breaking down everything from inception to where we are at now.
Mm-hmm.
And to date, no one has responded to that letter.
So you guys, this letter was sent directly.
By myself. I make sure I hand deliver all those letters myself.
And I'm seeing that the letter was dated on July 15th.
Yeah,
So since July 15, 2011, this letter was submitted to HGC with no response.
Because in April was the walkabout when we brought in. So he said, listen, between April to July, something should happen. You must be able to give us some type of feedback, other than you're just working on it. That letter was carbon copied to the minister. He was then the Minister of Culture. His office was on Frederick Street, so I personally hand-delivered his copy. His personal assistant in Port of Spain at the time was a man named Mr. Beaumont.
Yeah.
So I hand-delivered it to him. And we had a good conversation. And he said, okay, you all are on the right path. You need to build a paper trail in case this had to go to court. I say, okay. And to date, nothing, Kyron. Lo and behold, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, residents start receiving eviction notice.
Now, these eviction notices are coming from the HDC. And they are being sent to the residents who were affected by the floods, who moved to new units, to the stilts, the units on stilts, basically?
Yeah.
Before the eviction notices, we started getting liquidation of arrears.
Right.
Saying that we are owing them.
Yeah.
Right. I first collected one on January the 3rd of 2011, and another one March 31st, 2011, another one 29th of August 2012, and the last one stated notice to quit.
Right.
Okay. They are saying that notice is given, hereby given from the National Housing Authority, which you hold as monthly tenant on first day of June 2013, or at the end of the next complete month of tenancy will expire next after the end of the month, 1 month service, with that date.
That year.
All right. So actually, it's supposed to be July the 1st.
Yeah.
So anytime now, HGC.
Good.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you a question, because this is very, very startling to me, because knowing that all these conversations happen back and forth with the MP, conversation with Jolene John, letters documenting what has happened, documenting the issues, documenting the promises, and yet these letters are still being sent religiously.
A couple of months, about 2 or 3 months ago, Susan and I went to Rio Claro in Gypsy's office.
Right.
And he took copies of the letters and said, everything is in his hands. You all don't pay anything. He will organize everything and get back to us. This was never done.
We're talking about the MP here, Mr. Winston Gypsy
Mr. Winston.
Okay.
And Natty came to Port of Spain a couple of weeks ago, where we decided we got to go up to community development around the Savannah. But, he wasn't there that day. They said he was in Tobago. And, Natty came back, she met with his personal assistant, David Law, who said, hey, this is serious, we have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And this is all you keep getting. You know, and
we were supposed to meet last week Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because he said he would have been in the area and he would have met with us one time. This was never done. I called his phone, that's the personal assistant. I called his phone and didn't get through. I left messages because he has all these, I copied all these on emails to said he'll forward it to the MP and nothing has been done.
So basically, can you guys remember when was the last time any formal payment, whether it be in the arrangement for the the initial arrangement that you guys had for the housing, when was the last time that an actual payment was made? Would it have been right after the floods? Would it have been after you guys moved into
just after the flood.
Yeah? Just after the flood.
Just after the flood. And after receiving that first, I think you said it was liquidation of arrears. Did you guys try to make any contact with HDC?
Well, I went into HDC Port of Spain, and with my letter indicating, and a copy of the letter that from what we had wrote Jolene John.
All right.
And the account section say, well, they do not know what is happening with the allocation section. They just deal with the accounts. So I need to go to the allocation for they to sort that out so they could get something. Went to the allocation, when they saw the letter and they pulled the file, they say, listen, this file had to go upstairs by the chairman.
Right.
So within a month, we'll get back to you. Again, as I told you, working in Port of Spain, it gives me the luxury of being able to run away.
Being able to just run across,
right? Just run away and check them. And still, every time you go, it's been looked at. The file is upstairs. And then for a long time, you hear nothing.
Yeah.
And then, bam, letter, bam, to quit. The thing about it is that the member of parliament has never been left out of the loop.
Right. He was always made aware.
He was always made aware. Even if we decide to take a particular action, he have always been made aware. So I can't understand what is the delay or what is so difficult in sorting out this matter after all these years.
So, I mean, what is going to happen if he, God forbid, he takes more time that is needed to have this sorted out and you guys are actually evicted? What is going to be the next step after that?
We both ask the same question.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, all of these miscommunications that are happening between HDC, Gypsy, the residents, it's all going to lead to people being evicted. How many people in total are we talking about that may be faced with this?
Well, the thing about it is that what the HEC did, remember I told you they're calling people individually separately and threatening them.
Yeah.
So some people actually went and make some individual arrangements because they say, listen, we can't wait again.
Yeah.
We can't wait. If it come true, well, we could do the adjustment, but we can't wait again.
It's only Wendell and I really fighting.
So were you guys also approached individually by HEC?
Yeah.
And what was some of the offers or some of the things that they were telling you?
The offer is nothing, The offer is take it or leave it.
Then that's not an offer.
Yeah.
That's ultimatum.
Yeah, so there was no offer to say, okay, let us find a common ground.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that you guys are not in the lower houses anymore. You're in the houses on the stilt. And we're not willing to make any sort of compromise to find a middle ground in between the small houses and the big houses. So they want you to pay the rental or the... All right, guys, this conversation is going in a different direction and people are not understanding some of the issues that you guys are having. What I want to do, I want to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking more about this issue at the Pleasance Housing Development in Mayaro.
Come visit The Next Generation for all your school stationery needs. The Next Generation also supplies a wide variety of designer perfumes, cologne, swimwear, gift items, toiletries, male and female footwear, office supplies, and ready-made school uniforms. Be sure to visit The Next Generation, located Facades Building next to KFC. Contact us at 630-BOOK or 630-2665. The Next Generation, where we make a difference with exceptional quality, price, and service. Please join their fan page on Facebook for store-wide updates under The Next Generation Limited. Shop MCTV, located Pearville, Mayaro, the store with a wide range of kitchen appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, blenders, coffee makers, dinner sets, wares, utensils, Easy shop as seen on TV items, patio sets, camper tents, inflatable beds, floats, new wave oven, and much more. Get all your gift items right here. Seasonal gift paper, greeting cards, designer cologne for men and perfume for women, accessories, novelty sets, handbags, flowers, all Black & Decker and Oster products, in-stylers and massagers. Other household goods includes television sets, stereos, decorative items such as candles, curtains, ornaments, wall accessories, and more. Be sure to ask about our bridal registry services and not forgetting the kids. Teddy bears, toys, trucks, bicycles, beach games, blendy pens, and color splits. For the best prices and a comfortable shopping environment, visit Shop MCTV today.
This is a message from MCTV Digital. Dear subscribers, MCTV Digital is now offering high-speed internet service in Resource area. Call today to inquire about installation, rates, and packages. This is a message from MCTV Digital.
Guys, thank you for waiting and thank you for being here on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with your boy Kyron, the Poor People's Governor. I also want to remind you, for those that are now joining us, I don't know what you was doing before, but you should have been here, that we have two residents of the Plaisance Housing Development Improvement Committee. That's Mr. Wendell Mitchell and Natasha Richardson, and they're talking about an issue of the possibility of them being evicted from their homes. And basically they're being evicted all because there's some sort of breakdown in communication between the minister and the then chairman of HCC, Mrs. Jolene John, and also the residents. Right. So guys, while we were on break, we were talking a little bit about the possibility of the residents of that area being victimized. Do you think that has any merit at all, Mike?
Well, Kyron, I really would hope not. I would really hope not. I heard the rumors that somebody within the political circle say that the people in the HCC development in Miara are only paying them. I don't know if the house is marked paying them. I don't know how much paying them does look.
I don't know. I really don't know. A different feel.
I don't know. I really don't know how it is identify them or that kind of thing. And as such, they don't really need no help. But I prefer that. I just prefer to let that go by the wayside. And I wouldn't want to think in 2013 that educated people are still fighting that kind of tribalism and that kind of thing. I really don't want to think that way.
Have you guys brought this to the attention of anyone else high up in government, let's say the Prime Minister or any of her associates or anything like that?
Well, 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with the Prime Minister. 2 weeks ago, Thursday to be exact. And I indicated to her, I met her in another capacity. And I indicated to her then that there's an urgent situation in Miaro where some people are facing eviction. A letter drafted by Natasha and myself, and I'd like to give her to her. She said, well, no problem. And, in the letter, of course, had the contact numbers and that, and I break down exactly what's transpiring and what is taking place. And to which she promised, okay, just give me a couple days after reading it, and I would get back in touch with you. To date, nothing.
You guys sure that you have the right phone numbers and stuff on those letters? Because, I don't want to believe that something as important as this. You're talking about evicting people out of their homes. Whether the problem was because of a misunderstanding, whether it's because of the poor drainage, whether because it's because of alleged victimization, at the end of the day, people should always have a voice, and people should always be given that opportunity to be heard. And not knowing where you're going to sleep at night is a big problem, right? What I'm gonna promise that I'm gonna take this question directly to the MP, because that is my first step in terms of really finding out what's going on. I would want to know what's his reason for not handling it, or he's probably saying it's taken a while, because we all know that everyone on the government side right now might be a bit preoccupied. And we want to give him the benefit of the doubt that this is probably something that he has forgotten. But really and truly, we cannot leave this like this. People cannot be living in fear of being evicted from their homes. Note I didn't say houses, because they're no longer houses. When you have people move their lives into a house, it becomes their home. And we can't have this happening. And really and truly, giving it the proper attention and highlighting it to the right people, you guys should be given some sort of information. All right? Is there anything that you guys would personally like? If you had the option of speaking to Mr. Peters right now, what would you ask him? And keep it clean. What would you want to ask him? Because Natty, and I'm asking you, Natty, Because you was quiet for the majority of the night. I know this cannot be a comfortable feeling. I mean, how is this affecting your nights? I mean, are you guys sleeping okay? Are you concentrating on work? Because this is something very heavy to handle.
It is really uncomfortable because right opposite me, there are illegal tenants. Yeah. All right? People fence wrong, flowers, everybody that's moving in. Yeah. Right? And I, single parents, who pays, yeah. Right? You want to take me out of my home. Yeah. Right? And other people living freely. Yeah. Without any issues. Without any situation. Right? So it's kind of because I go to work thinking all sort of things. Next thing you know, I come back, I see all my clothes outside. In the road. Yeah. Right? Because I see it happen a couple of months or last year when they put out some. Well, they were. And those people that were evicted, those were actual legal tenants or? No, illegal.
Oh, okay.
And they were put out from one house and come back in the next house. Right? So it's really uncomfortable for me right now and my kids. Yeah. Really uncomfortable.
Wendell, how is this affecting you though?
Kyron, you just pretend, for me, I just try not to take it on, but, it's something that always in the back of your mind. Every time my phone ring and I on work and I see a Miaro number, especially if it's Natty, Cheryl or somebody close, I start to get worried. Yeah. Because I always feel a call and I say, hey, HEC here. And the sad part about it is that a lot of people wanted to take a different course of action. I remember one night in a meeting, Lava saying, boy, listen, we need to block the road, we need to do something, we need to send a message, we need to go in tongue, we need to create some disturbance. And I remember telling him, I said, listen, we need to give the MP a chance. I said, the MP is somebody who I respect, even though we might have different political views. Yeah. When I left school, he gave me a job. That was actually one of the first places I ever worked was at the Fishnet. Okay. And he gave me a job. And we always maintain a cordial relationship. Despite, we have different views, but we always maintain a cordial relationship. So I feel betrayed. Yeah. Because a lot of the things that probably could have been done different to highlight the situation probably took a back burner and giving the MP a chance. Yeah. And I would just want to ask Gypsy, why so long? Why something like this will take 2-3 years? I mean, because it's something that is not something that the PP government did, but it's something that they inherited. We acknowledge that. But it's something that Gypsy knew from day one and promised to fix. Yep. And from April 2011 to June 2013, you can't tell me this simple situation taking so long. I just can't stomach it no more.
All right, Wendell and Natty, on that note, I know that this is a very touchy situation, and it requires a certain amount of tact and compassion. I too believe that you're supposed to give the people a chance to do what they have to do, give the MP enough time to do his job. But there also comes a time where crunch time comes upon you when you have to make a decision and decide what you're going to do to fend for yourself, because it's yourself and also your family. So I can understand both sides of those coins. And as I mentioned to you earlier on, I am going to follow up on it to see what sort of information we can get from the MP and from other avenues. And if we need to take it on another level, well, then I'm going to let you know. We're going to talk more. But I'm touched by this, and people that are looking onto this program shouldn't take anything for granted, because one day you can be as safe and comfortable as you want, and the next day you're getting letters stating that you have to leave based on something that is not even your fault. So to the two of you, I would like to say, keep the faith, and we're gonna do as much as possible to see how we could try to get the attention of the people that are responsible for this to help us out.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kyron, and thanks for having us on the program.
Not a problem. All right, guys. So you've just heard from the two residents of the Pleasance Housing Development, Natty and Wendell. You see how we're going on to first name basis now. And they highlighted some of the issues. They are currently possibly going to be evicted from their homes based on a misunderstanding and a lack of communication from our MP to HTC concerning an arrangement they had for living arrangements. As we all know, there was a time when there was a massive flood down at the HTC Park, or that Pleasance Park, and a lot of people lost everything. right? So we're trying as much as possible and as hard as possible to get some information so that these people would have some sort of answer to their plights, right? So it's your boy Kyron. Going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it's more of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Come visit The Next Generation for all your school stationery needs. The Next Generation also supplies a wide variety of designer perfumes, cologne, swimwear, gift items, toiletries, male and female footwear, office supplies, and ready-made school uniforms. Be sure to visit The Next Generation, located Facades Building next to KFC. Contact us at 630-BOOK or 630-2665. The Next Generation, where we make a difference with exceptional quality, price, and service. Please join their fan page on Facebook for store-wide updates under The Next Generation Limited. Shop MCTV, located Pearville, Mayaro, the store with a wide range of kitchen appliances such as refrigerators, stoves, blenders, coffee makers, dinner sets, wares, utensils, easy shop as seen on TV items, patio sets, camper tents, inflatable beds, floats, new wave oven, and much more. Get all your gift items right here. Seasonal gift paper, greeting cards, designer cologne for men and perfume for women, accessories, novelty sets, handbags, flowers, all Black & Decker and Oster products, in-stylers and massagers. Other household goods includes television sets, stereos, decorative items such as candles, curtains, ornaments, wall accessories, and more. Be sure to ask about our bridal registry services and not forgetting the kids. Teddy bears, toys, trucks, bicycles, beach games, blendy pens, and color splits. For the best prices and a comfortable shopping environment, visit Shop MCTV today.
This is a message from MCTV. Customer in arrears for over 90 days will be disconnected. Customers are required to call the MCTV office to make payment arrangement. Disconnected customers may be asked to return their cable boxes. This is a message from MCTV.
This is a message from MCTV Digital. Dear subscribers, MCTV Digital is now offering high-speed internet service in Resource area. Call today to inquire about installation, rates, and packages. This is a message from MCTV Digital.
Welcome back to the good, the bad. Welcome back to the good, the bad. Here when I see my director, Mr. Shane Gomez. He's the best director in the world. I just must say that. No, he's the best. I mean, regardless of what people say about you, he's the best. Right, welcome back to the good, the bad, and the ugly. We just finished our conversation, an interview with Mr. Wendell Mitchell. I just, earlier, Shanique Toten, right? And I have to apologize for that because Shanique is another integral part in ensuring that this program runs without a hitch. And I believe you had to be in the studio, so Shane wouldn't be doing so many things, huh? That's like, you know. Right, so we just had a conversation with Wendell Mitchell and Natasha Richardson, two members of the Plaisance Housing Scheme. I forgot the name of the organization because it was on the letter and they just took the letter from her. But nonetheless, they are facing the possibility of being evicted from their homes based on a misunderstanding because Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, our MP, told them that they don't have to worry about being evicted or they don't have to worry about paying the change in allocation because remember they were officially allocated the shorter houses, the flat houses, as we like to say, the flat houses. And after the flooding and whatnot, he tell them, oh, you don't stay here, it have houses across the waste, move up on top of them and we'll deal with logistics afterwards. Fast forward about 5 years, they're being handed eviction notices. So we're going to really pose those questions, some hard questions to the officials of HDC as well as members of our representative and see what sort of answers we can get. Before we go, because we actually run out of time, I want to remind you guys that the petition for the Mayaro Fire Station is still out and I would like anyone to sign that petition. Be in support of the fire station of Mayaro because we need it. The closest fire station to Mayaro is Rio Claro. It takes us about a half an hour. It takes me about a half an hour. Probably a little less than half an hour to get here, but do you know how much damage can be done to a house in half an hour? Last week, we aired we had a reporter come down and they were covering the petition drive, and they contacted our MP and asked them, Mr. MP, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, sir, the Honorable, Are you aware that the residents of Mayaro are currently signing a petition asking you to fast track the building of a fire station? And his response to that question was, the people of Mayaro needs to be a little more patient. Do you know why the people of Mayaro? Why you need to be more patient? Because the fire station, the people of Mayaro, is going to start in July. That's right. What month we now? Shane? I'm going to check. This is 2nd of July. And I don't know if anyone has any information as to if you're seeing any construction going on. But he has promised that construction is going to start in July. It's the 2nd of July. The area that they turn the sod have grass taller than me and you. Do you guys remember when, the Prime Minister came and they turned the sod? It was a big thing. Fire station for Mayaro. The MP, he cares about the community. He grew up here, so he's making sure that, do they think that people of Mayaro are stupid? Do they think that the people of Mayaro will just take everything and anything because they say so? Shane shaking his head. So apparently he believes so. He doesn't believe so, sorry. He believes that the MP and the members of government believes that the people of Mayaro are stupid. That's correct, right? I know you believe that people are stupid. It's not that. You're saying these things to promise people. A promise is a comfort to a fool. We don't need promises right now. We need action. That is why I took my petition to the streets of Mayaro, and I'm still taking it to the streets of Mayaro because I want people to sign it. Mr. Peters told the reporter that people are just doing this petition for political mileage. Talking about me, that I'm only doing this for political mileage. As you guys may already know, that I have placed myself up for service in the local government election, and I'm the prospective candidate for the PNM for Mayaro area. So Mr. Peters is saying this. He is saying this because he feels that I'm doing this for votes. At the end of the day, I live in this community, Gypsy only comes here for meetings, I live in this community. I live and I breathe here every day, This community is the reason why I am who I am today, So I am fighting for this for my community, not for anything else. And I felt totally disrespected by someone even suggesting that. I know it's time for elections and people will say things that they don't really mean, or that they have no sense to say anything else. But at the end of the day, that one really touched the bone, because I'm doing this for my community, and everything that I do is for my community. I was even told by a friend of mine who was in the campaigning phase. He asked Mr. Kishri Kisoon to sign the petition. Would you sign this petition, sir, to support this fire station? His response is, what I signed this for? This will make my government look bad. These are the people that are representing us, These are the people that going out there and making decisions that affects our lives, I heard this saying, I know I ran out of time, but I heard this saying, if you don't take part in the democratic process, if you don't vote, we end up being ruled by people who are inferior. We end up being governed by our inferiors, And it's very true. Go out and have that say. Let people know that we have a voice. I'm going to be walking around to every community with that petition into, and I want you to sign it. I want you to say, you know what, whether you're supporting PNM, CUP, NJAP, UNC, I don't cater. This is for our community, and our community, we deserve this. We aren't begging for this, and we're not asking for this. This is not something that we say, well, you know what, we're going to give them that. We deserve this as a community, and we need the fire station now. It's your boy Kyron, the Poor People's Governor. Remember, next week, be right here. I had a lot of videos that I wanted to show, but we had some technical difficulties, and I'm going to promise I'm going to try to have those ready by next week, right? So, on behalf of my hardworking staff, Shane and Shanique, thank you guys very much for being here. See you guys next week on another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly.
Pissed off, who wants some? I'm fighting for my soul. God, get at your boy. You try to vote, God, fall back. I go hard on this lonely road, trying to make it home. Doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some? I see them long, hard times.
Stay tuned to MCTV3, your community station.